Good morning. My name is Corina Herrera Loera, Public Information Officer for the Santa Clara County. And today we're very excited to announce that we've gone into the orange tier. So thank you to the community and everybody who's put in their part. And before we continue, we will be taking off our masks during this segment so that you can understand us better and the ASL can translate. So as I mentioned, we are very excited to open up more things. We're going to be going over details. Today we have Indira Fonseca, who's also a public information officer, and she's in charge. She's the manager of the JIC, where they are in charge of answering questions. So when you call and ask questions, she oversees a team, and we're happy to have her here today to share some information. Thank you, Indira, for coming here and sharing the details about Tier Orange and what that means for us and our community.
Thank you, Corina. Absolutely. So I work for the call centers and supporting our call centers. So any questions that we see from the public, our businesses, we most definitely answer those questions to the best of our ability, or we get back to our businesses. And we're happy to support. We're happy to support our community. At this time, there are a lot of changes. Now that we are in the orange tier, which is great. This definitely reflects all of our hard work as a community, all of our businesses, being in compliance with our directives. So we really thank you for that.
Thank you. And so let's start with the tier and the protocols and what that means. What changes is there to our social distancing protocol now that we're in Tier Orange?
Absolutely. So there are a lot of changes under the orange tier, which are good changes for a lot of our businesses. We are able to have more activities and businesses open up or have looser restrictions. So with that being said, there is a new social distancing protocol under our revised risk reduction order. So all businesses must complete a new social distancing protocol. Meaning, so businesses most of them have already submitted a social distancing protocol, meaning they would receive the green check mark now with our new revised social distancing protocol that all businesses must submit within 14 days from our order going live, which is today. They have to submit a social distancing protocol because there have been a lot of updates. Businesses can find that social distancing protocol on the same webpage, which is covid19prepared.org. There they can find all the information, the guidelines. There is a how-to video on how to submit the social distancing protocol. Some things are similar, but some things are updated, just like one of the big updates has been the capacity limitations. And just to keep in mind, one of the call centers, which is the business call center, we are fully staffed and happy and ready to assist you on submitting your social distancing protocol. But definitely, this is a reminder that this is an updated social distancing protocol and that must be submitted for all businesses in Santa Clara County.
Nice, thank you. And speaking of capacity and changes, I know we're really excited to get out at least a little bit, right? And still stay safe. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes within the capacity limitations?
Yeah, so that is one of our biggest updates in the social distancing protocol and just in general. Capacity limit, we have moved on from density limitation to capacity. And capacity limitations apply to every room or area in your facility which members of the public spend time or engage in regulated activities. I can give you an example of the entities that are subject to capacity limitations. Some of them are indoor museums, zoos and aquariums, indoor gyms and fitness facilities, indoor dining facilities, indoor family centers, indoor card rooms, and any facility hosting an indoor gathering, including places of worship, movie theaters, and private residences. If your business does not fall into this criteria, it is not subject to the health officer capacity limitation, but you should still follow and limit the number of people in your facility to ensure social distancing, a minimum of 6 feet apart. And to help you determine the capacity limitation, we understand that this is a big change. We also developed, Santa Clara County now has a capacity limitation calculator that will assist businesses and the public in determining what is the capacity limitation of that room or area. The website for that is sccgov sdc.org/COVID capacity. And like I mentioned, our business call center is ready to assist you to determine that as well.
Thank you. So now you heard, if you have a business or any place that may be able to open, you can look at that website. And for those of us who will be going to enjoy some of these businesses and going indoors, we get to keep in mind that it doesn't mean that we're all going to be able to go in. There's still limitations, so we may get to wait our part, still maintaining safety, right? You mentioned the 6 feet apart, wearing our face masks, probably except when we eat, I'm assuming. Otherwise.
Absolutely, but for indoor gatherings, an example would be if you are attending a ceremony, a religious ceremony, you cannot take off your face covering if you are indoors. If you are outdoors, of course, you can remove your face covering. If you're at a outdoor dining place, you can definitely remove that to have your food or drink. But there are restrictions, which is why I encourage you to visit our website to receive further guidance for individual directives as our dining directive has changed. There is now an indoor dining directive and guidance for our businesses here in Santa Clara County that they must follow. And just to just to touch back on our capacity limitation, part of the requirement is for businesses to post this capacity limitation for the public to view. So that's really important. That's really important for businesses to keep that in mind and make that information accessible to the public. And we do have a template for this on our website as well.
Thank you, Indira. And I know I've already had different questions about the 100 to 200, so now a 200 limitation, where before it was at 100 for the outdoor gatherings.
Correct.
But there's still specific guidance around that, and it stays the same, right? So initially it was for ceremonies?
It is still for ceremonies and religious events and cultural and protests. So that is still in place. It's just the amount of individuals that can be at that gathering has increased. But they still must adhere to the directive and the guidelines. So an example would be they would have to still submit a social distancing protocol and post the capacity limitation for that event. The person holding that gathering would have to be in charge of gathering the information of the attendees for contact tracing efforts.
Thank you. And so I know you mentioned a little bit about the directives and a few changes. So can you tell us a little bit more into what directives have changed now?
Absolutely. I can give you some examples. We have updated several of our directives now that we are in the orange tier. So we invite you to visit our website to receive all the information on our updated directives. Some examples would be our dining guidance. Like I mentioned, we did have outdoor dining directives. Now we have dining in general, and we have general guidelines for dining both indoors and outdoors that businesses must follow. But we also have specific guidelines for indoor dining. From staffing to customers to employers, businesses that they must follow, and we also have another example would be gyms and fitness facilities. Santa Clara County is now in line with the state directive, and again, if anyone has any issues interpreting that information, we'd be more than happy to assist you.
Thank you.
And for further examples, also you can visit our website where we have our information, scc.gov.org/coronavirus.
Thank you. So now you've heard community. We're in tier orange. Our next tier is tier yellow. However, keep in mind that if we don't follow those distancing protocols, 6 feet apart still, wearing our face masks, we can easily go back. Right? So
absolutely.
We want to make sure that we follow, we stay safe, we stay healthy, we continue to open up our county as we all want to. So continue to wear your face masks, continue to stay safe, stay home as much as we can still. However, there is more openings, so we're able to go out, enjoy our community a little bit more, go and dine indoors, enjoy a meal, still within our families, but we're able to go now to some of these places that will be opening up now that we're in tier orange. Indira, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add and let our community know before we end today?
Absolutely. I would love to remind, well, first of all, thank you, for our, everyone's collaborative effort. We all have responsibility to each other, and I think that our us utilizing things as face coverings and social distancing really do, at the end of the day, allow us to move forward. And I want to remind also the public that if these metrics continue to improve, the county would be eligible to advance to the framework to a less restrictive level, as you guys have, as everyone has seen. If these metrics worsen, of course, the county could also revert to a more restrictive level, which is why it's very important to emphasize that even if activities are allowed to use their discretion, sometimes it is just simply not recommended. We are all in this together and hold our responsibility to each other and also to a vulnerable population. If you have someone in your home or just loved ones in general that are part of that vulnerable population, please keep in mind that it is up to us to keep them safe. But on behalf of Santa Clara County, we thank you for your continued efforts and our continued fight against COVID-19.
Thank you, Indira. So now, community, as you've heard, let's feel good. We've all brought our community to where we're at in tier orange, from you watching this to our children, going through distance learning at home, those of us here working hard on your behalf. We've all done this together. And so we are one, step away from going to orange to yellow, and then eventually taking us out of this pandemic. So let's feel good. We're doing good. We're at orange, soon to be at yellow, hopefully. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll continue to do what we're doing, working hard for you all. And let's enjoy and stay safe at the same time. Keep in mind that there are, holidays coming up, and we are mindful of that. That doesn't mean we're going to be able to go back, and do how we did things before. We still got to stay within our homes, stay within our, immediate families, change a few things here and there. However, we'll be able to enjoy, indoor activities, maybe a zoo, maybe, a place of worship where we were a little bit, we weren't going because maybe we weren't on the list or we weren't able to make it on the list. Now things have opened up. We might be able to, go do some of those things. So thank you. I'm really happy. And I look forward to, getting to that tier yellow soon. Thank you, Indira, again for making time. And thank you for tuning in here. Remember, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m., continuing to provide information as we go forward here in our county. Thank you again, and hope you have a good week.